Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Big news just dropped from the Throne and Liberty team, and they're calling this whole update push Cheer Up Throne and Liberty. They're really trying to get everyone geared and get everyone ready for some serious action. We've got new content, new progression systems, combat changes, new items, and even a cross-server war on the horizon. Now look, a huge part of this whole Cheer Up initiative does involve a major hyper boosting system in Korea. However, since we're global, we're not going to really talk about that stuff. Even without mentioning the new Hyperboost server, there's actually a lot of content coming our way, so let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about the big one. Throne and Liberty's first ever 12-player raid. It's going to be called Altar of the Bewitched Witch. Kind of an interesting, redundant title, right? Now, the developers sincerely apologized because they had to make the rough call to delay the raid's release by 1 month. They explained this was primarily to ensure a super stable environment for a huge 12-person co-op activity, and importantly, to give new and returning players the chance to grow and prepare for the raid through the Hyper Boosting Season 3 event, again, something we won't be getting here in Global. So, the story around this dungeon revolves around Calinthia. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but she's a powerful magic user you might remember encountering in a nightmare right at the very start of the game. After losing her follower, Levi Lupus, in a past fight against the Resistance, she's gone, well, a bit mad. She's become obsessed with forbidden rituals and necromancy to try and bring him back. Our job as Resistance fighters is to stop her and her descent into chaos. If you want to dive deeper into the lore before the raid, they're adding a new adventure and side story codex updates next week that will cover the raid's world's details. Zone 1 is kind of the warm-up, featuring the boss Draga. It's designed to introduce 12-player raid groups to a new form of cooperative PvE, focusing on two parties who have to work together against a single boss. It's really meant to help players get used to coordinating multi-party dynamics. Zone 2 is going to step things up with double bosses, Pyrescu and Gyros. Their creatures are fire and ice. Unlike the Ackman-Deckman double bosses you might be used to, these are fixed position monsters. This zone is designed to deepen the multi-party strategy, requiring more complex role assignments, designated areas, target switching, and overall group coordination. Zone 3 is going to be the big finale against Calinthia herself. The design here is all about collective combat, allowing players to contribute in different roles no matter their specific party setup. A cool new mechanic called Phase Shift is being introduced in this zone. This changes the environment or even player roles within the same space based on specific conditions. Some of these conditions actually might be making an unattackable monster attackable, or let you interact with an object that you couldn't before. The devs have stressed that this raid is still in a work in progress, so things might change. In terms of difficulty, the raid will have 3 levels: normal, skilled, and extreme. Alright, let's talk loot. The raid, as you'd expect, offers the absolute best gear available and introduces a new brand new item grade, Legendary. Unique items work differently from our current heroic tiers. The key thing is you can only equip 1 unique item per equipment slot. So 1 unique weapon, 1 unique piece of armor, and 1 unique accessory. This means your existing Tier 2 and Archboss gear will still be relevant. Interestingly, the unique weapons from Calinthia do not have their own built-in weapon skills. But that's where the new skill core system comes in. This system will let you extract skills from existing Tier 2 weapons and Archboss weapons. These extracted skills can then be engraved onto your new unique gear. This is a major way to customize and boost your gear's performance, specifically to your playstyle. As usual, doing this will actually burn your item and engrave the current item skill onto your legendary gear. The good news, engraving a skill core onto your legendary item has a 100% success rate. Just a note, you can only engrave skills onto legendary weapons of the same type, such as a crossbow onto a crossbow. Another big perk of the legendary gear is that you can deterministically change the stats to exactly the traits that you want. This gives you a clear goal for repeat farming of the raid. So, if you get a legendary piece from the raid that isn't quite what you need, you can obviously disassemble it or dissolve it down into Calinthia Soul Stones. These Soul Stones, which you can also get as raid rewards, can be used to craft the specific legendary gear pieces you're aiming for. This means your farming efforts always contribute to your progression, even if the exact drop doesn't happen right away. So at the introduction of this raid, there will be a weekly limit. The developers did mention that legendary gear can drop even from the normal difficulty, although the drop rates might be different. They also mentioned the next major raid is tentatively planned for about 9 months after this one. So the raid isn't the only new PvE content coming. Get ready, because on the week, or actually next week, May 28th, we should be getting the new 4-star co-op dungeon. This one is called Detlin's Obsession Chamber. The boss is Belentra, who is another follower of Calinthia. She's so obsessed she even uses Calinthia's severed arm in combat. Yeah, you heard that right, you'll be getting hit with a dead person's arm. As a 4-star dungeon, it does require a minimum of 5,000 combat power. While the normal mode might be manageable for many, the Challenge Rift version is expected to be quite difficult and will really highlight the importance of special team roles. And here's the kicker. This new dungeon, this is where you'll be able to farm a brand new equipment type, the earrings. Before we talk about the earrings, I do want to mention that these will actually be using the 3-star tokens as well for entry. Now, let's get on to these earrings. These earrings will initially drop as T2 items. The legendary items, or the legendary earrings, will be planned for later. Like other accessories, you can equip them with runes to boost their stats. Earrings are actually going to be a key part of a significant change coming to PvP combat, the Directional Judgment System. This new combat system is being introduced to add more strategy and tactics. The developer mentioned player feedback suggesting that the current combat can feel a bit too focused on defense and survival, sometimes leading to fights that do not end. I'm actually a big fan of this change because it's going to remind me of the combat from, well, Ion, my first love. And, well, Ion 2 is coming out soon, but that's to come. We're talking about Throwing Liberty right now. Under this new system, the amount of damage you deal or receive will depend on where you are relative to your target. Attacking from the front will generally mean you take less damage, while attacking from behind will give you a damage increase or other benefits. Just to give you a small note about how serious they are about this, they've already updated 40 skills that will be incorporated into the system. For example, the dagger skill Smokescreen will actually allow you to be attacked from the rear now. So, positioning actually does matter whenever you're fighting someone standing in that little elusive smoke. This system will also interact with hit and evasion stats, allowing for some adjustments based on your controlled position and movement. The devs see this more of as a refinement and an enhancement of the existing combat, not a complete overhaul. So yeah, while we didn't dive into hyper boosting specifics today, it's clear there's a ton of new content and system changes coming. While the raid delay itself is unfortunate, there's going to be a new dungeon, new earring slot, directional combat, cross-server sieges, and all those quality of life updates mean we have a packed schedule ahead. This wraps up our review of the KR dev stream, but let's go ahead and touch on some of the things that the global side will be getting. So let's go ahead and touch on the IS listing that just dropped earlier today from Godspeed. We will have the Road to Raid activities, which will begin May 29th. The goal is to provide rewards that prepare us to face Calinthia. The event structure is planned to feature different content every few weeks, taking you through various game modes. The content will progressively become more difficult, and the rewards will become increasingly desirable. Specific activities and bonus rewards are going to be found in the weekly completion tab. Here's a look at the schedule mentioned in the news. Phase 1, May 29th to June 12th. This phase will kick off with co-op dungeons and field bosses. Completing co-op dungeons can earn you 7 million Solent, and participating and killing field bosses can net you 60 rare artifact selection chests. There will also be the Mystic Globe Solent event. During this time, Mystic Globes and Portals will be swapped for lucky bags around Silicium. Gathering these lucky bags will give you additional rewards and Solent. Overlapping with the start of Phase 1 is the Fortune's Calling event. This will run from May 29th to June 4th. This event rewards you based on your progress in various activities like co-op dungeons, dynamic events, field bosses, and Amatoy expeditions. Also starting during Phase 1, running from June 5th to June 26th, is the Omen of Chaos event. This is where you can earn extra rewards by gathering traces of chaos from activities like Amatoy expeditions, Mystic Portals, and more. Phase 2 will be June 12th to June 26th. This phase focuses on dimensional trial completion and dynamic event player kills and assists. Both activities reward you with 12 Nebula Conquest chests. Phase 2 will also feature a challenging Guild Rage Arch boss. Now whether you call this boss T-Vent or Tevent, they will be there from June 12th to June 29th with new mechanics, altered loot tables, presenting a trickier variant of this familiar foe. All these events and updates are building up to the launch of the Altar of Calinthia raid on June 26th. So there you have it. Lots happening in Silicium to get us ready for the first 12-player raid. Make sure you jump into the Road to Raid activity starting May 29th to grab those rewards and gear up. Don't forget to check out the official news articles for all the fine details. Gather your guild and get ready for Calinthia. We'll see you in Silicium. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more Throne and Liberty content, and let us know in the comments which part of the Road to Raid event you're most excited about. We'll see you soon.